What's up guys, welcome to another free stock market breakdown video. In this breakdown, we're going to be taking a look at a few instruments where I see some trading opportunities opening up. Remember to drop a thumbs up on this video and subscribe to my channel if you like the content. Also remember to turn on your channel notifications so that you are notified every time we upload a video. Follow us on social media to keep up with our educational content and so you never miss any important market news. All the important links to our channels are in the description below. So let's get right into it. So we're going to start off by taking a look at the S&P 500 and review the trade idea that we highlighted last week. So dropping down to the 4-hour time frame, as you can see, we still haven't had our entry criteria met yet, as price has not pulled back into this key 4-hour zone at around 3,860 points. Now at some point this week, I am expecting this pullback to happen just because of this weakness here that I see entering the stock market. And in addition to that, we're starting to get some push down on the 4-hour chart on the RSI. In addition to that, we still have our blue uptrend support that we had this false breakout here that never got the accurate retest. So I am expecting at some point for this 50 period moving average highlighted in orange, this blue 4-hour supply and demand zone, as well as this blue uptrend line of support to get retested before we continue higher up to our first target profit level of around 3,980 points. Now this move is also supported fundamentally by the fact that I know that the Senate should be debating the motion for the $1.9 trillion stimulus plan. So I do think that possibly there will be some volatility that will enter us into this trade and ultimately allow us to hit this first take profit level relatively quickly. Now there is also a possibility that price could continue higher, and if that does take place, I will be noting where we should be trailing our stops to in order to maximize the move. But overall, this is still the trade idea that we have here for about a 2.85 to 1 risk to reward ratio. And so I will be keeping you up to date on my Instagram when we get triggered into this move. Now moving across to the Dow Jones Industrial Average, I do have the same trade idea that I highlighted last week still laid out because this trade has not completed as yet, and I still remain bullish on this instrument. Now if I drop down to the 4-hour time frame, I'll just review exactly what the trade idea is and why I still have faith that this trade idea will play out. So similar to the S&P 500, because all of these stock indices are correlated, it is not surprising that we have a very similar trade idea to the S&P 500. However, the Dow Jones is a lot less volatile because of the lack of technology stocks in it, and therefore this should have a lot more of a controlled move, and it's why this is probably the trade idea I end up taking over the S&P 500. Furthermore, we do have this significant blue trend line here that hasn't had a retest yet. I mean, we've come close to retesting it, but we haven't had that retest as yet. And as you can see, price is starting to weaken off a little bit. So I am expecting price to pull back in here at least one more time, have a bounce, and then push up to our target profit level, which is around 32,100 points, which would set a new all-time high. So definitely keep an eye out for this trade, and I will also be putting this up on my Instagram channel if it does get triggered in. If you are in this trade already, like I said last week, continue holding on as there's no reason for us to exit the trade yet. And if you're not in this trade already, then another opportunity should present itself this week to enter. Now moving across to the USDJPY, for you guys that trade the currency markets, I do see quite a significant development happening that I've been covering for quite a while now. But obviously some of the trading conditions have changed and price has continued to move higher. However, my trade idea stands, and actually this move here that we've seen that pushed us barely above 106 in this instrument is actually a quite bearish thing that I've seen. So because we've pushed up and almost had sort of a false breakout in this area, I am expecting price to now continue down further quite aggressively, potentially retesting this 4-hour zone that we had highlighted where we was looking to take the trade from before. So this is typically a pattern that lets you know that price could potentially head lower, especially in the middle of a massive downtrend, and especially since we're sitting right up against this 200 period moving average on the daily chart. So in order to specify our entry criteria for this trade idea, I'm going to get rid of this drawing that I have here because it's a little distracting, is that I am looking now for this downside move to occur upon breaking this main 4-hour level that we have highlighted right here. Now we could have ideally gotten into the trade up here. However, I'm not a person that likes to take trades above major moving averages, so I will be waiting for the next pullback opportunity to happen, which I do believe will happen slightly below this level. So if we take this level as our entry level, or maybe even down here, just to be a little bit conservative, as we have a lot more touches here, so possibly taking our entry level down here at around 105.17 with around a 35 pip stop loss. This gives us a nice trade idea down to this next zone, which is at around 104.11. So if we take this as our main move and we be a little bit patient, as I do believe this will take a couple of days to play out, just because of the volatility that could occur in this area, then we are looking at around a 3-to-1 risk to reward ratio with this trade. It is important that we do wait for this entry criteria to take place, because like I said, on these lower time frames we could have volatility that pushes us back up and then back down once again, which would essentially get us stopped out before the actual move happens. So I'll definitely be looking to take this trade here from this around 105.17 level down to around the 104.1 level. So if you are a person that does trade these instruments, this is the main trading opportunity that I see. And if this trade idea does happen to play out this week on whatever day, I will be making a post about it on my Instagram channel. So make sure that you check that out so that you don't miss out once this trade gets triggered in. Now moving across to gold, as you can see, we've been in this massive bear trend for just over 6 months now, but this does act as a big bullish signal, as this is a massive bull flag if we look at it on the weekly chart. So if you see our massive impulse that we had here, and now we formed this massive bull flag, this is quite a significant signal that could trigger a massive upside move in gold. However, because of the nature of this video, I am going to be covering this potential trade idea that I've highlighted here in another video separate from here. However, there are shorter term trading opportunities in gold that I see at the moment on the 4-hour time frame. So if we move down to the 4-hour time frame, as you can see, we are starting to get some form of RSI divergence happening here on this time frame, which is signaling to me that there could be a short-term potential move upwards in gold. Now our entry criteria for this trade, which would take place above this 4-hour supply and demand zone, which lies between around 1791 and 1795, will take place on the 1-hour time frame. Now we are above the 50 period moving average on this time frame, so what a trade idea would look like in my opinion is a clear break and close above this 4-hour supply and demand zone, a retest of it, and then a significant push upwards up to around this 1816 level, which is our next major supply and demand zone. So it is important that we wait for the break and close above this area, because remember, we are in a massive bear trend, so price could quickly reverse to the downside if it wanted to. So we have to be cognizant and aware of it, because this is a counter trend trading opportunity. However, it does offer a decent risk to reward ratio of around 2.3 to 1. So definitely something to take into consideration, because this is a favorable risk to reward ratio. Just be a little bit careful with it, and if we do get triggered in, or if things turn against us, I will be making regular posts to my Instagram channel updating you on this trade idea. But for now, this is what I see in gold for the short term, and I will be covering that longer term trade idea in a separate video. Now last but not least, we're going to be covering this beast of what is Bitcoin, because we have set an all-time high in this previous week of around $58,000. So to think that just under a year ago, Bitcoin crashed during the March crash to a low of around $3,800 and is now trading at $57,000 is absolutely amazing. Now I remain bullish on this cryptocurrency, but as I've stated on many occasions, that we are very overextended, especially on these higher time frames, and we are even more extended than we have been in previous bull markets, because we are sitting up here above 90 on the RSI. And even if we go back in time and we look at some of these bull markets, usually these high RSI readings have signified the top. Now I don't believe that Bitcoin is going to top out at any time soon, but we have to be aware that major pullbacks could occur, so we don't want to be taking any unnecessary longs at these highs. So the main thing that I do see, and I haven't been a good predictor of the future during this bull market just because of how different it has been from our previous bull markets, but I am looking at some lower time frame supply and demand zones, which could open up some trading ideas, both long and short. So obviously, if we have any major correction in Bitcoin, that is an opportunity to go long. So whether we pull all the way back to $40,000 or maybe even $46,000 where the next supply and demand zone is, we could be looking at taking advantage of the pullback opportunity and taking longs from these areas. Now on the other hand, a major push down below one of these levels could give us an opportunity to take advantage of a short-term correction in Bitcoin, possibly to another supply and demand zone, say around $50,000. So I'll definitely be keeping a close eye on the cryptocurrency as I usually do on a weekly basis, and if any major opportunities open up, I will be posting them to my Instagram channel, so definitely drop a follow on that page so that you don't miss any of those cryptocurrency updates that I post. Now, we don't want to be taking any longs at these highs because that's just bad trade management, and FOMOing into Bitcoin at this point in time is extremely risky. Now, although I remain very bullish on Bitcoin, I don't want to see you guys go into the red for too long while price decides to have a major correction. So definitely just use any pullbacks as buying opportunities, and if any short opportunities open up, I will be letting you guys know about it. And with that being said, thank you to all who took the time out to watch this video. And an even bigger thank you to you guys who made it to the end of this video. I'm going to continue doing these weekly stock market breakdowns, and I also plan to bring back some of my more detailed analysis on stock market, cryptocurrency, and commodity instruments so that you guys can see my take on where I think these various markets are going in the long term. But if you like my content, remember to subscribe to my channel so that you can keep up to date with all of the content that I post on a regular basis. If you found this video useful, support me by dropping a like on this video so that the YouTube algorithm can help me reach more people. And thanks, and peace out.